a school system, once again, not doing anything about racial bullying, and the children had to speak out about it at the official meeting. With millions watching and many people benefiting from this program called Indisputable, we just need 1% of the viewers to become a paid member so we can continue to bring this content to you. Now back to the show. Here it is.
Hello, my name's Tryon Clark. I'm a senior at Fort Vancouver High School, and I'm the vice president of Black Student Union. I'm here to speak to you today about the lack of accountability and response from the staff and administration at Fort Vancouver High School. Over the past month, countless racial issues have been brought to their attention, and each time these issues were not handled correctly. The most common solution they came up with was to sweep the issue under the rug. There was an incident where multiple posters created by a Black student were defaced. The student created posters to advertise a wellness and affinity group for young women that included a picture of herself. Another student, who's still unknown, came and wrote multiple slurs and pieces of harmful language over the picture of the student, including ugly ass. This was reported on April 30th. The student whose posters were defaced wasn't informed of what happened until May 7th by the advisor of our Black Student Union, Navon Morgan. The student went to get more information about what happened from one of the administrators and was told that they were waiting for Charlotte Latte, the current equity coach at Fort, to get back and start finding a solution for the problem. When discussing this with Black Student Union members, one member asked the question, if the admin waited until Charlotte was available to find a solution, then what would they do when she's gone? Immediately when Charlotte returned, she began brainstorming possible solutions for this problem. For example, she started working on a policy that would essentially ban the use of the N-word, as well as making a better system for students to report racial incidents that happen in school. As one of the most diverse schools in Vancouver, it's concerning how many racially motivated incidents have happened inside the school within the past month, which brings my concern even higher for schools that are less diverse. More than ever, our education system needs equity coaches inside of our schools. They embody a desperate need for change that administrators and other staff have failed to fulfill. Without people like Charlotte in our buildings, all of these atrocities will continue to go unchecked, and that's completely unacceptable.
Atrocities, unchecked, unacceptable. There's more.
My name's Shalisha Lewis, and I'm a sophomore at Fort Vancouver High School. I'm also the co-president of the Black Student Union. On Friday, April 26th, there was an incident where some students posted a TikTok with the N-word posted on the video. Some students from our school addressed the girls who posted the TikTok, and they proceeded to say microaggressions and racial slurs towards the girls, including calling them monkeys. It was brought to admin. And that day they pulled one of the girls who posted and one of the girls who responded from class. That happened on a Friday. The Sunday after, an email was sent out to parents addressing the situation, but not talking about a solution for it. Then the Thursday following, May 2nd, staff held a focus group for Black students to share their feelings about the incident that happened on the 26th. And during the meeting, an admin proceeded to ask what they think we should do about the situation and how they should handle it. Monday, May 6th, Charlotte came back. Once she heard about all the things that happened and found out the admin hadn't done anything about it, she immediately found a solution. She started working on a new policy, and yesterday she presented it to the school. There was another incident where one of my current teachers said to me and two of my Black classmates that if he was in the car by himself and was listening to a song, he would say the N-word. The teacher never apologized, and when my classmate's mom went to admin about it, he said, let's not make this into something it's not. I say all this to say the admin at the school lack accountability and have failed to make sure all their students feel safe and make sure we feel like we're heard at the school. Navon, our BSU advisor, and Charlotte, our equity coach, have made the biggest difference this year. But I'm afraid without them, nothing would have been addressed or made a priority to the admin at Fort. Our school next year is going to go from having 6 Black staff to having 2 and no Black teachers. Do you know what it's like to walk into your school? You know what it's like to walk into your school while students are calling you the most racist things and have your teachers And have your teachers say them as well? Probably not. Racism does happen at Fort Vancouver High School, and our admin doesn't know how to handle it.
Let's put up the picture. These students are so brave. I am grateful that they are my future leaders, which means we're going to be okay eventually.
Right.
Per Atlanta Black Star, Black students at Fort Vancouver High School in Washington State shared shocking accounts. I just shared two. It was many more. They shared shocking accounts of racism. They went directly to the school board, put it on the official record during public comment, tearfully describing insults, disgusting behavior they faced from schoolmates while urging administration officials, take action, do something. But instead of doing something, they've done less. Multiple witnesses told the 6-member Vancouver Public School Board panel that a culture of racism was pervasive among the student body, noting that it is common to hear racial slurs in the hallway or to see bigotry in social media posts, as well as face-to-face encounters outside the school, which is approximately 45% Hispanic, 35% white, and less than 4% Black. The board meeting began with a beautiful rendition of the national anthem by a diverse group of district students, while the angelic singing stood in stark contrast to the subsequent allegations of racism that would soon shake the room. In a dramatic moment, Fort Vancouver sophomore Fatou Bojang described with graphic detail a hateful encounter she experienced with a classmate who called her a monkey and the N-word. She said the confrontation took place on social media, stemmed from a viral Instagram video that she felt was combative toward the Black community, which was posted by a classmate who, when confronted, claimed she had no racist intentions. Quote, to this day, she's still proud of what she did. And anytime I see her on any of her social media, she just keeps going. Bojang said, fighting back tears, she's not sincere about any of her apologies. I have so many screenshots of what her and her friends have said about the Black community at our school. This girl hasn't been sincere about any of the apologies. So per video of the board meeting, Bojang noted that the ongoing racism was impeding the ability to learn at the school, while also eroding friendships between students of different races. Without naming the subject, Bojang suggested that some white students were being purposely rude and insensitive while ignoring the basic norms of dignity and respect. Every time she has said sorry, she would just keep going with more racism, especially with her friend who has said very disgusting things and hurtful things. It took me and everything in my power to not go off on her, she explained. That's when her testimony became deeply emotional. Some of the things that she said were, and I quote, and then you guys got offended, bruh, and maybe solve it like a behavioral person and not like a monkey. Those were some of the highlights that she said and some of her friends said. Shut your monkey ass up, little N-word. Go jump off a effing tree and eat some bananas, little B-ass N-word. I'll F any of your homies up. So quit talking ish, B-word ass monkey. By now, Bojang was sobbing and struggling to get through a statement. Things like this should not be acceptable, she said before stepping away. Another student brought up a painful episode where a Black student displayed a poster on the school's bulletin board advertising a new mental health support group for Black teens. but despite its benign intention, the poster was vandalized with racist insults and the N-word, the student said. At the time, parents were outraged when they found out about what happened and immediately contacted the school board to raise hell about it. This day and age, if that word was being put on there as a joke, whatever the intention was, that's ridiculous, Andrew Morgan said, according to KGW8. Something had to be done. Students and school employees took the stand to support claims that a major problem at the school needed to be addressed. Racism does happen at Fort Vancouver High School, and our admin does not know how to handle it, testified Relisha Lewis, a sophomore, president of the school's Black Student Union. Navon Morgan, a contract teacher at the school, testified that he witnessed firsthand multiple instances of intentional anti-Black hate speech directed towards students that I work to uplift. At the meeting, Fort Vancouver assistant principal Louis Castro pledged to do more to address the situation, but any potential changes would have to wait until next fall, as this school year was all but over. If we partner and we have more people looking at these difficult issues, we're going to get to a place where we're going to ensure we have an environment where students feel safe, valued, and heard. Culture sets in when there's no penalty for violating the rules. So you have a rule that says one thing, but a culture that does something else, because those who are supposed to enforce the rules have decided not to. So you now have a subculture. You have a subnormality happening inside of the school system. That wasn't created by one group. That has to be created by both groups. It has to be created by the students and then by the lack of leadership to hold them accountable. That's the only way the culture is able to exist. If you actually did something, these would be incidents every now and then, an extreme action that must be dealt with. But this has become normative because your teachers are allowing it. I wanted to make sure that we heard these young people to put this school system exactly where it should be, front and center. And we expect an update soon. Francesca, thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, this is a school system that is what, like less than an hour outside of Portland? Like, this is not the Deep South. This is just a predominantly white school district and school. And 4% of Black students are being targeted systematically. And look at them, they have all the composure other than the tears, eloquently explaining everything that happened to them, detailing that when they were set aside, they were taken aside to have a meeting about it, and they were asked what to do by administrators. Like, right. They're children. How are you gonna ask? You should know what to do. Doc, we need more critical race theory in schools. Right. We need more understanding of systemic racism. We need more understanding. There's a reason why speech is labeled hate speech, why certain crimes are hate crimes, because they come along with that bigotry, with that, like, the histories layered on top of them, because they support so much injustice that exists outside of the schools in the communities in which we all live. And so the more that Republicans try to flatten all this and make it's just bullying, it's just that, no, it's not. And these students, these leaders, and man, these courageous leaders are trying to ask adults to be adults.
Yep.
That's all they're asking.
All they're asking. I'm not telling the students or parents what to do. But if I was in that situation, I would seriously be looking at a class action lawsuit against the administrators for their failure to enforce the basic equitable principles of anti-discrimination, constitutionally protected dynamics, because they do receive federal dollars, which means they had to agree that they would create, maintain, and protect students who are of the protected class.